Every year, the world creates over 2.1 billion tons of waste. That's more than 5,700 times the weight of the Great Wall of China. In fact, the average person in the US produces around 4.9 pounds of waste every single day. But here's the twist, we're recycling more than ever, and yet the problem keeps growing. Why? Because recycling alone isn't enough. Imagine you're putting out a fire with a garden hose, but the water just isn't enough to stop the flames. That's what recycling is. It's helpful, but it doesn't solve the core issue. What if there was a way to actually reduce the amount of waste we create in the first place? It's not about recycling everything you can. It's about stopping waste before it even happens. In this video, we'll explore surprising ways to cut back on waste that most people don't even think about. From refusing unnecessary items to upcycling things you already have, you'll discover strategies that are both easy and impactful. Ready to learn how to make a real difference? Keep watching as we dive into how you can stop the waste before it starts. Chapter 1. Rethink, don't recycle. The power of refusing. When we talk about reducing waste, we often think about recycling, but the first step should actually be refusing. Before anything ends up in the trash or recycling bin, ask yourself if you really need it. According to a 2020 report by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, 22% of household waste comes from items that could have been avoided in the first place. Refusing single-use plastic and unnecessary packaging is the most effective way to reduce waste. Even a small habit change, like refusing plastic straws or bags, can make a big difference. When we refuse, we keep waste from being created. The idea is simple: if it doesn't enter your life, it can't end up in the landfill. Consider bringing your own reusable bags to stores, or refusing to buy products that come with excess packaging. The Zero Waste Chef shares that by simply saying no to products that are overly packaged, we can save tons of resources. It's not just about what you can recycle, but about preventing waste at the source. Companies are even catching on to the power of refusal. Brands like Unilever and Coca-Cola are already working toward eliminating unnecessary plastic packaging. Every time you refuse something, you contribute to the demand for better alternatives. Chapter 2. Upcycle Overcycle. Transform trash into treasure. Upcycling isn't just a trendy buzzword, it's a lifestyle. Upcycling means turning old, unwanted things into something new and valuable. For instance, those old wooden pallets you've been thinking of throwing away can become a stylish coffee table. The True Cost, a documentary that explores fast fashion, highlights the massive waste produced by the fashion industry, urging us to rethink how we treat our old clothes. Instead of tossing an old t-shirt, consider turning it into a reusable grocery bag or a cozy pillow cover. In fact, a recent study by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation found that the fashion industry could reduce carbon emissions by 44% by simply reusing and upcycling textiles. It's not just about saving money, it's also about saving the environment. When you upcycle, you're reducing the need for new materials, cutting down on landfill waste, and slowing down the production cycle. By giving new life to old things, we avoid contributing to the energy and water usage needed to produce new goods. A simple DIY project can turn your old jars into stylish storage containers, or you could use old furniture and give it a new coat of paint to make it fresh again. You don't need to be a crafting expert to upcycle. Sometimes it's as simple as rearranging and reusing what you already have. Chapter 3. The Zero Waste Kitchen. Cooking with less waste, more flavor. Your kitchen is one of the best places to begin reducing waste, and you don't need fancy gadgets to make a difference. A zero-waste kitchen revolves around minimizing food scraps and packaging waste. Start by composting your fruit and vegetable peels. According to the EPA, food waste makes up about 24% of all landfill waste in the United States. Composting helps return nutrients back to the earth, instead of letting food scraps sit in a landfill. Next, focus on using every part of your ingredients. For instance, instead of throwing away broccoli stems, you can chop them up and use them in soups or stir-fries. The same goes for carrot tops, which can be turned into pesto or salad greens. Even citrus peels can be zested and used in cooking or baking, instead of being tossed. Food 52, a popular food blog, often shares tips on making the most out of ingredients, encouraging people to embrace the less than perfect parts of food. You can also store leftovers properly to prevent waste. Invest in glass containers to store meals, and freeze extra portions for later. This reduces food waste and helps you save time in the kitchen. A zero-waste kitchen doesn't just mean cutting down on what goes to the trash, it's about being mindful of the resources you're using and ensuring you make the most of every meal. If you enjoyed these tips, don't forget to subscribe for more ideas on sustainable living and reducing waste. Chapter 4: Sustainable Fashion. Dress better, waste less. Fashion is a huge contributor to waste, but there are plenty of ways to make your wardrobe more sustainable. One of the easiest strategies is to buy less and buy better. According to a 2019 report by the United Nations, the fashion industry is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions. By choosing high-quality, long-lasting clothing instead of cheap, fast fashion, we can reduce this environmental impact. Second-hand shopping is another great way to embrace sustainable fashion. You can find unique pieces at thrift stores or online marketplaces like Depop and Poshmark. In fact, buying second-hand clothing helps reduce the demand for new garments and lowers the carbon footprint of clothing production. ThreadUp, an online consignment shop, claims that if Americans bought second-hand clothing instead of new, we could reduce carbon emissions by 44 million tons annually. That's like taking 9 million cars off the road. Another tip is to care for your clothes properly to extend their lifespan. Wash clothes in cold water and air dry them to reduce wear and tear, as well as to save energy. Repairing clothes instead of throwing them out can also go a long way. Even something as simple as sewing a button back on can keep a shirt out of the landfill for years. Chapter 5: The Digital Cleanup. Reducing your e-waste footprint. E-waste is one of the fastest growing waste streams worldwide, and it's often ignored. By 2030, global e-waste is expected to reach 74 million metric tons, up from 53 million in 2019. The environmental impact of e-waste is staggering. Precious metals like gold, copper, and aluminium are often buried in landfills, where they contaminate soil and water. A simple strategy to reduce e-waste is repairing instead of replacing electronics. Many devices can be fixed with a little effort, whether it's replacing a cracked phone screen or swapping out a laptop battery. If your gadgets are beyond repair, look for certified e-waste recycling programs. Best Buy and Staples, for example, offer free recycling for old electronics. You can also reduce your e-waste footprint by choosing products designed to last longer and with recyclable materials. Companies like Fairphone are already producing modular smartphones that allow for easy upgrades and repairs, so you don't need to replace the whole device when something breaks. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more tips on sustainable living and how you can make a positive impact. Chapter 6: The Hidden Waste. Sustainable practices for your daily routine. Waste isn't always obvious, it's often hiding in our everyday routines. From excessive water usage to disposable paper towels, little things can add up to a lot of waste. The average American uses 140,150 gallons of water daily, much of it wasted through leaky faucets or long showers. A simple fix is to install low-flow shower heads and fix leaks right away. By making these small adjustments, you can save water and energy, which in turn reduces your environmental footprint. Another overlooked source of waste is disposable items. Paper towels are often used for quick cleanups, but they're a wasteful option. Consider switching to washable cloth towels, which can be reused hundreds of times. Similarly, disposable razors end up in landfills, so investing in a durable razor with replaceable blades can save you money and reduce waste over time. Small choices like using reusable coffee filters, reducing plastic wrap, and choosing products with minimal packaging can make a big difference. The key to reducing hidden waste is to think about your habits and how you can swap out the disposable for the sustainable. It's not always about major life changes, it's about the little things we can do every day that add up to lasting change.